Hey guys, Tank Sauce here for another video, and in this one, it shouldn't be too long, but I'm just going to be going over the different assets that we trade and their point and tick value, right? So what is a tick first? So a tick is the smallest fluctuation on an asset, smallest measurement, right? So on the NQ, because we're on the NQ contract, you can see right here, right? On the NQ or the NASDAQ, there are four ticks in a point, okay? And a point is $1, right? So 21,057, 21,057.25 is one tick, right? 0.50 is two ticks, 0.75 is three ticks, and 21,058 will be the fourth tick, and there is four ticks in one point of movement or $1 of movement. So each tick on the NASDAQ, right? There's four ticks in a point on the NASDAQ. There's four ticks in a point on the S&P or ES, and there's four ticks in a point on YM or on the Dow Jones. Okay, so for the index futures, which is a big focus for us, each tick is a quarter, 0.25, and each point is four ticks. Okay, now I'm going to drag this in here and I'm going to show you the difference in this. So right here, you guys can see that on ES, the S&P 500, right? Um, the tick size is a quarter. Sorry, brain fart, guys. The tick size is 0.25. That's how it moves. And the tick value on the full size contract for ES is $12.50, right? So each time it moves 0.25, you're either making or you're losing $12.50, right? The NQ or the NASDAQ, right? Each tick size is a quarter, and when it moves a tick, you're losing or you're gaining $5. So if there's four ticks in a point, each dollar, each point fluctuation on the NASDAQ is going to be worth $20 profit or loss. And on ES, each point is going to be worth $50 profit or loss. And on the YM, a tick size is actually a dollar. It just moves uh, by dollars, right? Or that would be considered a point also. And each time it moves, its smallest fluctuation, it's worth $5. So each time YM moves $1 or one point or one tick up and down, sorry if you guys hear those beeps. You guys are either going to be gaining or you're going to be losing $5. Now, those are for the full size mini contracts, right? If you guys go to the micro contracts, which is what all of us brand new traders should be trading, is the micro contracts. They are 1/10 the size of the full size contracts. So the ticks are still in quarters for ES and NQ, or for MES and MNQ, because they're referred to MES or MNQ. They are still going to be quarter or 0.25 fluctuations. And on ES, instead of it being worth 12.50, it is now worth $1.25 per tick and $5 per point. And a point is a full dollar fluctuation on those. On NQ, it's going to be worth 50 cents per tick, or MNQ, I'm sorry. It'll be worth 50 cents per tick, right? Or it's going to be worth $2 per point. Um, you guys can go look into this. This stuff is more if you guys are going to be trading a personally funded account, which again, we do not recommend when you're starting out. Use a prop firm, get used to that, learn how all of this works very thoroughly first. And that way you guys can know what you're going to do when the time comes into your real account, right? So let's go over CL because that will be another one that we use. CL or crude oil, right? Its tick is 0.01. So think of it like a penny, right? And each tick on a full size mini contract of CL is worth $10 for that tick. There is 100 ticks in 1 point for CL. So what's 100 times 10? It's 1,000, right? So in 1 point or $1 fluctuation on CL on a full size contract, you can make $1,000. Okay, for NQ, you need 200 ticks to make $1,000 with a full size contract, right? Because it's $5 and not 10. However, NQ will do 200 ticks a lot faster than CL will do 100 ticks, right? 200 ticks will come sometimes in a minute on NQ, and on CL, it's going to take much longer. So back to CL, there's also MCL, which I actually don't see on here. Well, anyways, MCL is the micro ticker for crude oil, and it also moves in zero point zero 0.01 fluctuations or a penny. But instead of it being worth $10 per fluctuation, it's or per tick, it's only worth $1 per tick. So these are important things for you guys to know if you guys are trading these different assets, and you need to know what how it moves, its smallest level of movement, which is a tick, and you need to know what each tick value is. That way you know how much you're going to be risking and how much you're going to be gaining when you guys are trading. So that's super important for you guys to understand. We will have this PDF in the Discord as well for you guys to reference whenever you need to. But these are going to be the main ones for you guys to pay attention to when starting out is going to be MES, MNQ, and MCL, right? CL, NQ, ES. Those are going to be the ones that we trade the most and you're going to hear us talking about the most. There is also Bitcoin futures, there's Ethereum futures, there are future contracts for other cryptos. Um, if you're coming from Forex, the futures market does offer some Forex contracts on the futures market. They are futures, they're not Forex, but they run the same for you guys. So you can see like the British pound, right? GBP. It would be 6B is the ticker, and you guys can see here what the tick size is and the tick value of each movement. And again, a tick is the smallest amount, the lowest fluctuation per asset that it has and the value of that. So you can see on NQ here, we'll do some quick math so you guys can see. Let's use 5 minutes. We'll get a 5 minute candle, right? So we can see this candle started out here. Its lowest point was 776, right? 0.5. Its highest point was, well, 20,776. Its highest point was 20,879. In 5 minutes, NQ moved over 100 points, right? So it's what, 102.5 points, I think is the exact thing. I just did that off my head, so sorry if I'm wrong. In 5 minutes, that's huge because that's over 400 ticks. And if you're using a full size contract on NQ, 400 ticks is $2,000, right? So, or 400 ticks with one micro is going to be $200 because they're worth 50 cents, right? So, you can make a ton and you can also get wrecked because if you get in on the wrong side, say you thought it was going to come down right here and you entered it in 5 minutes, if you're not trading responsibly, you can lose 2 grand very, very easily. You can also make it very, very easily, but it's a lot, for whatever reason, it's a lot harder to make it than it is to lose it. Okay. Um, so these are things that you want to be mindful of when you're trading and make sure you have all the ins and outs of it. And again, it's simple to break down the math, right? For NQ with a full size contract, 10 points right, is 40 ticks. There's 4 ticks in a point, so 10 points is 40 ticks. And 40 ticks with a full-size contract is worth $200 because each tick is worth $5. So hopefully that wasn't too fast. I know it was a little quick, but as you guys go, you're going to get more and more used to it, right, as you're going. So let's show you guys ES as well. So ES is right here on the right. We're going to show ES on a 5 minute. We're going to go to that same thing because I want you guys to have these for reference, right? So you can understand when you're going into this. This same candle on ES only moved 20.5 points, right? So 20.5 points. 1 point has 4 ticks. So that means there's 82 ticks on ES, right? And if each tick on a full size contract is worth $12.5, you make with one contract $1,000 on ES, right? Whereas of here, you would make over $2,000 with NQ. So ES, although it can be the same in the same price, it's priced very, very differently. So ES can be a great option when you are starting out because it's not as violent, it doesn't move as much, and it's cheaper and less risk involved trading ES. Okay, so keep that in mind when you go into this. And instead of it being $1,000, if you used one micro contract, right, the MES, you guys would be making $100 or losing $100 within this 5 minutes. Now, that's if you entered right here and you exited right here, right? So theoretically, that's what is going on, right? You would have had to enter at the low and sell at the top, or sell here and then get stopped out up here. But that is how fast this happens in the market. Okay, so that is the tick value and the tick size. Let me show you guys CL on the 5 minute, and we'll look at MCO and the micro contracts and the mini contracts. The minis, again, you guys, if you hear someone saying they're trading minis, they're trading the full size contracts. The micros are the smaller size contracts, right? So let's get a good move here and we'll see, so we could see what it would be worth. So on ES, 5 minutes, this guy right here goes from there to there. And that's annoying. This same one goes from here to here, right? And they're even slightly off, right? The mini contracts and the micro contracts don't match up perfectly. So what is this here? 18 ticks, right? So 18 ticks on CL is worth $180 because each tick is worth $10, right? 18 ticks on MCL, which is the micro contract, is going to be worth $18 because it's 1/10 the size. So again, you guys can trade MCL and you can trade CL when you're starting out. Get used to this stuff. Get a feel. You know what? If you guys rush your trading and you go right into full size contracts, you're probably going to have a much harder time. It's going to be way more emotional because, especially if you're trading on NQ, the price fluctuations are huge, right? And if you're not used to watching $500 disappear in 5 seconds, it's really going to hit you different, and you don't really realize it until it's happening, right? That's how it's going to be the case. And the same is for if you guys win $500 in 5 seconds, you're going to be so excited. The adrenaline is going to be pumping. You can't believe it. This is it. All this stuff happens, and it's really hard when you guys experience those really highs and lows, emotional swings, to stay consistent because you're kind of all over the place. So you want to be able to get to a point or find what amount you need to trade so that way the fluctuations in price don't make you too happy and they don't make you too sad, right? And there will be, and it comes on slow, right? So that's why we say start low, start on the micro contracts. So that way, when you guys are trading, you get used to those lower fluctuations and it's not so emotional, right? Because if you're on NQ and you're watching that thing go, right, and in 5 minutes you make $2,000, you're going to be on top of the world. right? There's no ifs, ands about it. You've never done that before in your life. But if you lose $2,000 in 5 minutes, you're also going to be pretty down on yourself, right? And you're going to want to quit. You're going to want to stop. And that's not the name of the game. We're not here to make 10 grand today and blow it all tomorrow, right? Because over time, we want our gains to just slowly grow and be profitable over a long periods of time. And that way, when you lose trading slower, you're not having huge price swings, right? Your profit's not going 10,000 here today and then, oh, I'm down 12,000 tomorrow and then I'm up 5,000. It's like, no, we don't want our equity curve on our profit and loss to look like that, right? We want our equity curve on our profit and loss to look like this. We want to win. We want to win, maybe lose a little, win, lose a little, win, lose a little, win, lose a little, win, lose a little. Maybe you take a little bit bigger loss that day. That's okay. You didn't destroy your account. Win, 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 lose. Maybe you have a couple more losing days than winning days, and it goes up. You kind of want to have it be a little bit slower and more consistent like this. That's the name. Because if you guys are all over the place, especially starting out, and you're killing it because you got lucky, and then it's back down to zero, and then it's up, and then it's down. It's not going anywhere, right? It's just going sideways. And especially in the beginning, you guys don't have much knowledge or skills built up for that. So that is it. I just wanted to go over the different contracts, the tick values, the points, what they were, so that way you guys had an idea of how it worked for a couple of the different assets. So we'll have that PDF right there in the group for you guys to reference whenever you need. And again, reach out to me, reach out to Diamond Hands, reach out to Pam Cakes or anybody else in the group that can help you guys out. That's what the group is for. We're here to help you guys when you need help, and we can make sure you guys have the information properly.